The lineup set up and ready to go. Zombie Doom's already keyed in. They've got their headphones on. They're ready to rock and roll. Dark Unicorns rocking the smaller earbuds. They want to be able to hear more than Zombie Doom. Zombie Doom wants to just kind of zombie out and be in their own little world here. But really, really exciting. We're going to see the third round out of 4 here today, right here, right now. 10 attacks against 10 of the best bases with 10 of the best attackers in the world. Let's ham it up.
Absolutely. And again, Zombie Doom, this is their 3rd time on stage in the 3 wars that we've seen on stage today, and we've seen a triple from them in each of the first 2 wars. Now, interestingly enough, in the first war it wasn't enough for a win, in the second war it was. So now we're going to see Dark Unicorns come out here who have not put up a triple yet today. They're definitely looking for their first.
I was about to say, okay, so if they haven't put up a triple, then they have 20 total stars, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, 20 total stars, 2 wars, each with 10. And then the Zombie Doom has 21, so they're very, very close. I mean, this is still a 1-star spread between these 2 clans.
Yep, Zombie Doom actually has 22.
Will do.
So they hit 11 in the first 2 wars. But let's check this out as Marco187 moves in here and said to be the P.E.K.K.A. Smash expert. Check out, he's got 3 Hog Riders ready to go here. So we'll see what they're going to pick up.
You never know what those Hog Riders are going to do. I mean, are they going to be pulling out a clan castle? Are they going to be popping some traps? Are they going to be just sniping a defense that's distracted? I mean, Hog Riders, there they go right there. I mean, it looks like they're going to just start off by taking out a few defenses, maybe weakening some things, and potentially was a part of the clan castle lore.
Yeah, maybe. It looks like from the top of the screen there is what activated that Town Hall. And maybe the Town Hall got activated a little bit early. The Hog Riders are designed to get in and perhaps get that cannon out of the way.
Ouch. So unfortunately, that Queen had to pop her ability early. Now the Warden had to pop his ability early just to get that Town Hall down. So there is the 1-star. Great freeze, though, covering 2 Expos and the Eagle Artillery. So that's good. That's a positive. But with so much already deployed, he doesn't have a lot of percentage to speak for. So it's not looking that great for Marco so far.
Yeah, you'll notice that the Stone Slammer came in from behind here on the right-hand side. It took out the cannon. And then this Wizard Tower. Archer Queen's still up there in the center, but you're right, Klaus. Everybody in the core really just got focused on by a ton of key defenses.
Now we're at 52 or 51%, now 52. So that is the 2-star. He came to do what he came to do. Not going to be a 3-star though. There's a lot of base left, but he's not putting his clan in a bad position until we see how Zombie Doom decides to respond.
Exactly. It's a start. You can see pushing for 60% right here. But again, I hate to keep hammering it home, but these Zombie Doom bases are really catching some of these attackers off guard and holding the percentages down a lot lower than they would hope for.
Absolutely. Looks like that Queen almost survived. I was about to say that Queen's going to get away, but nope, she did not make it out. So the Baby Dragon, as soon as that Grand Warden goes down, the Baby Dragon will get targeted, and then really the vast majority of the troops doing a lot of damage will be gone. And it will be a 70 plus or just a strict 70% 2-star from Marco. Not bad, great percentage,
exactly.
But it just doesn't I feel like 80% would be about the average here today.
Yeah, probably based upon what we've seen so far, I think you're about right that we've seen 80 at the most. I mean, surprisingly, versus last month, I think that we've seen a huge improvement in these bases holding against attacks. Maybe it has to do with players going for slightly riskier 3-stars that aren't necessarily just high percentage 2-stars. Maybe they know that it's going to be the star that makes the difference and not the percentage.
Right. I mean, Dark Unicorns, they absolutely have to get a couple of 3-stars in this war, or they're going to be in a really bad position moving forward to enter the playoffs on Sunday. So they're probably going to be aiming for a bit more risky attacks, so they can hope, and it's not a good way to hope, but you can hope that their enemies will fail, which we have not seen a single 1-star fail yet, and now we're into beyond the halfway point.
Good point, and I do think that that's something to anticipate, Klaus, that you pointed out, and that is as this day wears on, we're going to see attackers pull out slightly more maybe YOLO-style attacks as they really have to try to grab those 3-stars.
Those YOLO attacks, you got to love them. It looks like Sanguinarius definitely doesn't have one of those here. I mean, he's got that P.E.K.K.A. Smash. He's got that Electro Dragon. You got to love that. Definitely going to be used to help out with the funnel. Looks like that, like that Coconut Loon. We don't want to forget the key basics for attacks. You drop that balloon first in case there's a Seeking Air Mine, because you certainly don't want your Electro Dragon to absorb that Seeking Air Mine. So that was a good start. Fundamentally sound there for Sanguinarius.
Yep, so the E-Dragon is going to get some jobs done on the right-hand side, but it's going to go down early because there was that air defense in the area. But the funnel is successful. The Archer Queen's definitely moving off to the left. Going to take down the Barbarian King and head closer to the Town Hall here. You see he's got one jump spell in store, but of course the Wall Wrecker as well.
He was playing it safe. He deployed that free spell, but unfortunately he didn't even need it. I mean, so sadly his rage spell was not covering his healers, so the Queen was dying, but he could have been okay without that freeze, so that's a burned freeze, unfortunately. Now he needs that Wall Wrecker to get in there before the Queen decides to fully commit. It looks like, yes, she
just came back. She was going to go right back into the opening there, and so now you've got the majority of the units on the inside. Watch for that jump spell. Going to help the units get all the way into the core. There's the Warden's abilities. The Town Hall goes down. A few units on the outside, but almost everybody in the middle this time, Klaus.
But it's not all about that Queen. It's all about those healers. If you can get those healers to bounce onto the P.E.K.K.A. or the bowlers or whatever and really start keeping things alive in the middle, then you're doing good. If you end up losing the healers, the Queen walks around or whatever, then those troops are really going in, blind, if you will. They don't have a lot of potential. They're just going to go and do their damage and die. So, so far, attack is, I keep saying it fundamentally, it's doing great.
Well, look how patient Sanguinarius was with the jump spell, dropping away over here on the right-hand side of this base, letting the units force their way through the earlier walls, and then helping them get through them a little more quickly out here as they're facing that last Inferno Tower. Well, second to last, there's still one at the top of your screen.
That's right. Unfortunately, I don't know, like the attack kind of just funneled out there. I mean, I wasn't sure what went fully wrong there, but the Queen dies out in the middle. We do have a King. He's got a healer. He's also got an ability, and we still have a rage spell. So you know that Sanguinarius is sitting here just analyzing this attack. Like, okay, where is the best place to use this rage spell? Because I certainly don't want to waste it.
Yeah, the King's ability and a rage spell. Interesting combination left. And the P.E.K.K.A.'s way down here on the bottom. They're finally going to move back up and rejoin the King. But that may be about it for everybody that's left on the offensive side. There's the ability, and there is the rage spell.
There you go. So you knew that the P.E.K.K.A.s were going to get stuck on the wall, and there's a lot more value for percentage out here at the top, so why not rage the King and the ability? But that is going to finish off being a 65. Oh, wait. Yep, there's that cannon. 66? You got this?
Man.
And then now sticking to the wall. Yep, so it's going to be a mid to high 60% here.
The Barb King really ran into a Tesla farm out there, and even with the rage spell and the ability, didn't get through many of those buildings out there.
Unfortunate to see that, but hey, that's a 2-star. I mean, like right now, both clans have put in their 2 stars. They're getting it done. They're getting it the bare minimum done. Granted,
the bare minimum.
It's still what they need. It looks like at this point, who has the percentage advantage? I believe it's Dark Unicorns.
Yep, Dark Unicorns with that first attack. A couple more percentage points than Zombie Doom. Both teams having some great defensive showing right here. Harry looks like maybe he's up next.
It looks like he is. He's getting ready. He's smiling. He's confident. He's relaxed. But will he be able to pull off that triple that we've all been wanting to see? I mean, we need to see some triples, Galadon.
Well, there's a lot of high expectations for the Dark Unicorns because, again, they are from that Dark Looter / Tribe Gaming family, and they did qualify 2 different teams here this weekend. We see the Dark Unicorns today, and we see the Dark Looters tomorrow.
That's right. And so, you know, the best case scenario, they could be warring against each other at some point.
It's a possibility.
That would be really
just like Blaze JP and Top of Japan, 2 clans representing their home country as well. Exciting.
Yeah, very exciting. I mean, there's so much going on here. I think the competition is even steeper in qualifier number 2 than there was in qualifier 1. And honestly, qualifier 1 was insane.
It really was.
It
was
super
super intense. It was super intense, but you're right. I feel like something has happened here, and these clans are they've stepped up their game as far as defense specifically. We haven't seen a 13-star win yet, but Team Queso did put up 2 triples in their first war against Zombie Doom.
So with Harry starting off the attack with a funnel, you got that happy bounce. You got that the bowler on the right-hand side grabbing some buildings all by itself. Notice with the scouting of the base, looking at the base with very little time. You notice that he could just drop a bowler and take out a lot of those external buildings. Now with the Stone Slammer, that's actually going to open up the wall.
There you go.
Which is a huge advantage for the Stone Slammer. I mean, it opens it up. You don't need wall
breakers. Watch this next one here. Watch how many enclosures it opens up right there.
Wow.
That is one of the reasons. It's my favorite as far as siege machines, my favorite entry troop, because it does get so many walls open like that. And like you pointed out at the beginning, Klaus, that bowler, like Itsu had said earlier today, high value from just a single troop. It looks like it completely completed the funnel on that right-hand side. Completely completed. I did just actually say that.
Yeah, but it works. I mean, so it's true. I mean, the funnel has been really good so far. Now we have 26 miners still up that need to be deployed, and that CC did go down. Now, the Queen is actually set up to likely go in and get that Eagle Artillery. The only problem is that storage at the top. So is the Queen going to go for that storage, or there you go. Get that Eagle Artillery down.
Eagle.
And then watch this. Watch the timer. 1 minute and 36 seconds, and there comes the miners. That's perfect timing.
Yep, that was good right at that town hall, although there are some buildings way off on the left, so you would normally like to see those funneled, would say the King. Looks like there's a wizard out there trying to get those down. That should keep the miners focused on the core of this base, and that is key because those last 2 heal spells need to cover as many miners as possible.
That's right. You want to make sure you keep your miners all close together. They drop defenses faster. If you keep them under heal, then it kind of removes it, negates the effect of the heal or the defenses with the healing spells. But looks like things are going pretty well at this point. And with 1 minute left, there's that last
heal spell down.
And the Queen can now hook around and start going around the base. So this looks like it was very nicely planned right now.
Becoming a cleanup unit right now on the outside, Klaus. 50 seconds left, though, and you've got a quarter of this base remaining. Miners have all kind of split up, and you've got 2 wizard towers that are really tough on miners.
But the Queen has all of her healers, so I mean that's really good. The problem here is that I think if you look at it, the Warden has stolen the healers, so hopefully the healers will switch over and help out with the Queen. But I mean the Queen can hit everything.
Look at the wizards at the bottom left too, Klaus. They're doing a great job until they find that wizard tower.
Oh no, don't do it.
Oh.
Ouch. Okay.
See you later, wizards.
Okay, well the wizards, ooh, they got that barracks at the end. That's going to be the winning key. No, it looks like it's going to be really, really close here. Galadon with 17 seconds to go. We get 8%. It is close, but I don't think this is going to happen.
This is so close. Such a beautiful attack. Went so well, but it looks like the time is just going to run a little bit short. Harry could actually end up with a 99 here. It's going to be close. 98.
Wow.
Oh,
we have
98%.
not seen very many of those, but that's a 98%
wow.
They need the percentage. That's a great attack, especially with the miners, which we haven't seen that many of. So great attack, but just not quite that 3-star that they needed.
It's so critical. We talk about percentage all day, but it's so critical right now to come up with a 3-star because you've seen every single war has been won by at least 1 3-star. There have been no 10-10 ties. So right now, percentage is really... It doesn't matter at all, especially for the Dark Unicorns. They wouldn't care if that was a 50% or a 99%. They want a 3-star.
They want more than 1 3-star. I mean, they're behind by 2. So I mean, like in the grand scheme of things, so they want as many triples as they can get. Emery actually starting off this attack here for Zombie Doom, the second attack for his clan, and he's going to be coming in with some 7 P.E.K.K.A. Galadon.
I believe a lot of players would call this P.E.K.K.A. Bobat. You've got P.E.K.K.A.s, you've got bowlers, and you've got 4 bat spells. So watch as the units are going to be distracting, or there'll be some freeze happening to the splash damages. So kind of keep an eye on where your wizard towers are and where those multi-target infernos are.
P.E.K.K.A. Bobat. That's fun to say. I like that. We have seven P.E.K.K.A. and leading the charge in with that is that wall wrecker with just a wrecking ball of troops. Look at that, Galadon. So many P.E.K.K.A. leading in right there, and they will definitely get that town hall. But the thing I worry about most of these types of attacks is their potential to progress through the base all the way. I mean, to get that triple, that's what they need. And but with those bats, I mean, I've seen bats do crazy things.
Exactly, and look at the jump spell, Klaus, already placed way down here at the bottom of the base, kind of right in the center of all 3 of those Inferno Towers. Look at 15 streams of Inferno Towers burning on those units in the core right there. And that is a mess. We're still, wait, the bats, here they are, far right-hand side. Bats are moving in, so we'll see the Wizard Tower closest to the bats is firing on the units in the core, firing on a P.E.K.K.A. Just like we saw earlier, that's going to allow those bats to get a bunch of those defenses down.
But are they going to be able to get that Wizard Tower down in time? That P.E.K.K.A. goes down. The bats just fall
you're right,
just
sir,
short.
no.
And that freeze
the last
was short too. Oh, man. So with just the bats.
And check this out. It's lava pups versus bats, Klaus, as the pups are chasing down the bats now.
Look at the percentage. He's got 42%. He's got hardly any troops left and just a few archers. I mean, if the Eagle Artillery was down, I would say this is a guaranteed 1-star fail. But, my goodness, look at those pups.
It's going to be the pups that could stop this, Klaus. Oh, my gosh.
And there are so many pups.
The pups are going to chase down the archers. The archers are not going to have time to get through these. This looks like it's going to be stuck at a 1-star.
Wow.
There's too many pups, and they're too quick. The archers are on there's just too many hit points on these buildings out here. They're after storages. There's no chance. 44%.
Our
Emery
very
knows
first,
what he's looking at right here.
Yeah, our very first one-star fail. This is going to be a 40, hopefully 45. I mean, you know, every percentage counts, so maybe this little archer will make it happen, but 45% one-star for Emery. That's going to set them back
on the
pretty far, but we still don't know the entire – oh, get one out and you're out. Yes, she got one. Small victory.
A little bit of revenge.
Yeah, a little revenge. But that was
I'd be bitter too if I were an archer.
heartbreaking. That was heartbreaking to see that one-star.
That is tough to watch right there. So that's been it's been tough to see so far, some of these lower percentage attacks, and that's our first one-star. It really kind of opens things up at this point for Dark Unicorns, but again, they're looking at the big picture. They see the forest through the trees. They know that just winning this war is not going to get them anywhere. They need to pick up triples.
They need to do better than Team Queso and Blaze JP that's hanging out in the back doing their war right now. They need to do better than everybody else, at least in the top half, to move on. So yes, that's good for Dark Unicorns, but they still need to provide some triples for us and for themselves, but mostly for us.
Mostly for everybody at home who wants to watch the 3 stars. But hey, again, it's been a clinic on base design so far today. Absolutely some amazing bases going up. And, you know, if a base can surprise and hold off an attacker like these guys, you know that it's going to do well in your wars at home.
Absolutely. And then, you know, I'll bring this up once again, that being in the studio under the bright lights, listening to us ramble, it's very stressful. It's stressful. And they know that there's a lot of people watching. You know, usually you're seeing spectators and you might get 10 or 20. But right now they've got thousands, millions of viewers. So there's a lot to absorb right now.
No, for sure, Klaus.
They have a lot on the line.
We always have to remember that it's completely different to attack like this after all this preparation and all this, you know, the cameras in their faces and they're up on stage, as opposed to in the comfort of your own home. So it's easy for us to criticize these guys for not grabbing the 3 stars, but almost any of us given the same position couldn't even come in anywhere near the performance that these guys are putting up. And if you think you can, then you ought to be registering at play.eslgaming.com.
There you go.
For that tournament, because that is every month, and that's anybody's chance to put together a 5-player team and qualify and get here to Poland and show your skills off.
I mean, there are 40 players here, and all of them qualified, half of them through ESL and half of them through the Clan War Leagues in-game, right?
Yep.
So none of them were shoo-ins. Everybody earned their spot. So anybody out there, you definitely want to try it out, because there is it's a lot of fun being here, but also a lot on the line with a prize pool altogether of $1 million. Yeah,
but just watching these skeletons get wiped out by the splash damage from that wizard tower was hilarious. There's the Warden's ability. There's really just witches left at this point, Klaus. 2 stars, but barely over 50% right here. And the Eagle is going to come down and just end a bunch of those witches' hopes.
Well, you don't want to forget the bats. Yeah, the bats took out the Inferno Tower. They're going through trying to take out the Expo. Expo can only hit 1 at a time. They'll also take care of that sweeper so they can keep on trucking through this base. It's so cool how they go to defenses. So it's like, you know, you can kind of see where they're going to go, and they're very useful. But at the end of the day, Galadon, this was still a 60% 2-star, well below the average. But it is the 2-star, and Dark Unicorns have to at least be happy about that.
Yep, you got a couple more minions pecking away on the right-hand side here. But again, a relatively low percentage, and Zombie Doom again. You know, I was thinking about bases from last season, but I'm thinking bases from this season. Wow, it is just but you have to remember that this obviously has also shown us a slight change in the attack meta. I think that what we're seeing here is more players that are focusing on 3 stars, less players that are focusing on high percentage 2 stars. If you remember last month, we had a lot of players that were focused and had even arrived at these playoffs, the qualifiers, by executing high percentage 2-star attacks.
And that's what they wanted. That's what they aimed for.
Yeah.
They got there. So, I mean, it's possible to do it again. Of course, are you going to win if you come here with just that 2-star mentality? Probably not. But, you know, anything can happen. And we see an increase, I think, in the amount of competition and sportsmanship going forward in these qualifiers. But, you know, it's exciting to see what actually progresses and how things change as we go along.
Yep, so we're getting a look at Shift a lot. Remember, he did drop the 3-star early on the first war. He was the first attack from Zombie Doom that dropped the 3-star against Team Queso. So that's an important star right now as we're looking at these totals, as we're getting close to wrapping it up. But remember, we've got another war after this one.
That's right. One more war after this, but Shift a lot again, we have high standards of Shift a lot. He's gotten that triple. He showed us that he's capable of it. So let's see what he's able to pull off here today. Again, with that P.E.K.K.A smash, he's got the Queen Walk, he's got the P.E.K.K.A, he's got the bowlers, he's got a Battle Blimp, unless he decides to change.
And he's got 5 bat spells, Klaus.
There you go, bat spells.
P.E.K.K.A Bobat right here.
P.E.K.K.A, wait, say that again? P.E.K.K.A what?
P.E.K.K.A Bobat.
P.E.K.K.A Bobat. It's funny how well that rolls off the tongue.
Rolls off the tongue.
P.E.K.K.A Bobat. You can say it so fast, too. P.E.K.K.A Bobat.
Just 4 healers this time coming in, and everybody watch and see if they make it in. How many of them are going to go around the outside? Looks like a few bowlers have wandered off, but that's not too bad. Most everybody headed towards the Town Hall.
Yeah, 4 bowlers roaming around the outside. The rest are in the middle, and the Town Hall goes down. That ability has popped, and everything is looking solid so far. Remember, those bats have a very high potential to output some damage, so we'll be watching for those. We've also got some free spells. Will they be used for the bat spells, or will they be used for the troops that are in the base right now?
Exactly. You can see that all of the Infernos are multi-target. Here they come as that Wizard Tower is distracted. The bats moving in from the right-hand side. Also, you'll notice that, there's the freeze from the Ice Golem on offense. That's going to help out a lot as the bats are going to wipe out that multi-target Inferno and move forward. Another free spell, just kind of insurance there, but unfortunately not in that Wizard Tower, and now the bats are history.
Ouch. So I was definitely thinking we were going to see another freeze on that Wizard Tower that's currently hammering down on the King. But we didn't. So, what's going to be next? I mean, the King, he's got to take it out, but he can't get through the wall. So everything at this point in the attack can only hit what's in front of them. They're either going to go through a wall or they're going to keep going around. And there's a lot of defenses inside the wall. So is there a potential for a 3-star here? I'm not thinking so, but we've seen some crazy attacks so far.
I think there's just too much left in the core, Klaus. You're right. I think that Shift-A-Lot was hoping those bats would make it further, and that Wizard Tower really ended their journey through this base. And now as the units work their way towards the outside, it's like we talked about, when you see the end of an attack that you're hoping is going to be a 3-star, you're almost always hoping that it's your units working from the inside out rather than from the outside in, because left against some of these maxed out walls at the end of the attack, that is almost always going to make you run out of time before you can get to them.
You can tell he's disappointed, but I mean, look at the percentage, 75% 2-star. Obviously, Zombie Doom is now behind because of that 1-star earlier, so they really need a 3-star just to keep up. But at least he got the 2-star. He still set up his clan for the next attacker to hopefully be able to pull off that 3, get them tied, and then potentially even take the win with their final attack.
Yep, everything is still super close right here, and another solid attack. Great to see a use of bats. Again, exciting to see lots of different attack strategies today. We've seen miners, we've seen hog riders, Laloon, we've seen even dragons.
I was about to say, I just knew you'd forget it, but you didn't. The dragons were out there. We've seen some dragon attacks.
And we've seen Electro. Didn't we see one? We saw one Electro Dragon attack, too.
Well, we've seen a lot of Electro Dragon funneling, but we haven't seen a lot of major, just full-on Electro Dragon attacks, which is funny because that's what I see a lot in my clan. But it's still so fun to see the different varieties of not only attack strategies, but base designs and what they hold in priority by putting in the middle, where they put their walls. I mean, we can learn so much by just simply looking at a base and staring at how it gets attacked.
And speaking of staring at bases, that's what Lewis is doing right now, getting ready to attack King Tut's base of Zombie Doom. He looks like he's feeling pretty relaxed. He's pumping his fists there like he's ready to put one down. Checking out the base and the attack strategy he's got. There's more Laloon. It looks like maybe Electron. Laloon. So this is one of those more complicated attacks. We've seen, Eve Check from Tribe also does this style attack, and that would be Electron with the heroes without healers, and then Lalo.
That's right. I mean, there's a lot going on. You can imagine on his device, he's having to scroll quite a bit between his spells, his troops, and it's probably just one big mess. But these guys are used to it. So Lewis, also a very familiar face. We've seen him before.
Watch for the wall breakers. Real quick, he dropped one. See where the next 3 are going to go. They're going to try to get through that wall. I'm imagining he wants his Archer Queen to get to the Town Hall.
Absolutely.
He's got 3 wall breakers left, though. Ice Golem is going to distract. And there they go, right there.
Wow, so that showed a lot of patience. That was a really cool little display there. I'm glad you brought attention to it, Gaudon, because it was just a very slow-moving, very intense moment where it's like, if this wall breaker does not break this wall, this game is over.
Yeah,
he got it.
Very measured attack, and that's what you talk about, the patience and the skill and the restraint that these players have, not to panic, to drop these units one at a time so patiently, so slowly. Archer Queen does get that Town Hall down for the 1st star.
Well, I know that the average player, they tend to want to, I will say we, the average player, we want to throw down all of our troops all at once and just be done with it, right? But that's not what these guys do. They have multi-level attacks where so many things are happening, and they're holding on to troops because you never know where you might need them. Everything's not going to go perfectly according to plan, and Lewis knows that. So with an excellent Town Hall getting brought down with, very patient wall breakering, the Lalo is actually blasting through this base, and things are looking strong right now.
They really are, and you can see they've just got one Inferno Tower left and a ton of balloons under the Warden's protection right now. But again, watch out for those two Wizard Towers off to the right. Those are going to be a big problem. You've got one freeze spell left. Nice freeze, catches the Archer Tower and the Wizard Tower, Klaus.
Problem with the enemy queen is still up, and she is shooting balloons left and right, so that is definitely not good. But it looks like there is potential. Oh, you can see in the face game, he's not happy with something. Yeah,
I think it's that Archer Queen still being up, and that Expo just so close. Great effort there. Almost went to plan. I think if the Archer Queen goes down, Klaus, that's a 3-star. Because she must have taken out, like you said, what, half a dozen balloons?
Oh, yeah.
She doesn't take those down. She gets out a little bit earlier. Then they easily overrun that Expo, and this is a triple.
So, yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, that king does so much damage, or that queen does so much damage against the balloons, popping them left and right. You know, those arrows from her crossbow really getting it done against those balloons. But, with that percentage being so high, I mean, 96, going to be 97,
wow.
98. I mean, that is a really solid attack, but just isn't the 3-star that they were hoping for.
So close. Look on the Expo. Look at the Expo. Is going to go down. No, not quite.
Oh.
98%.
98% 2-star. That's, I mean, yeah, we're sad, but we're happy. That's a fantastic percentage for him, even though things didn't quite go his way.
Gosh, it came down to basically the Archer Queen protecting the clan castle. Oh, man, such a great attack. And so much went according to plan, but the Archer Queen not going down in the middle of that attack made all the difference. Really hurt us indeed. But I mean, things are still going their way. Unfortunately for Zombie Doom getting that 1-star earlier, so Dark Unicorns are in good position to win this. But we have to also ask ourselves, how are they doing in the big picture? There's a lot of there's 2 other clans. They both are doing really, really well. So, they're duking it out here, but they're not just keeping this competition in mind. They're looking at what's been happening in the big picture, the long run. Precisely, because remember, we're playing round robin today, and that means that it all comes down to stars. Technically, these clans could lose one of these wars and still advance to Sunday if they have more stars than the 3rd place clan. I mean, remember, last qualifier, Tribe Gaming lost one of their wars and still won. That's true. So that's cool. That's good. That allows for a little room for error, and I think that's really important going forward. Everybody has the same chances. Yep, so King Icy going to try to bring things back up for Zombie Doom here. Needs to pick up a triple just to tie the score here with Dark Unicorns. And again, Archer Queen starting things off, and it looks like this is more of a P.E.K.K.A. smash. You got a few witches there as well, though. That's right, but that Queen Walk starting, honestly, on the opposite side of the base, this seems a bit risky. It does. I mean, so, but he's got the Wall Wrecker, it's charging in. Wow. And so, yeah, look at this. I mean, with the Wall Wrecker coming in from that far angle, that's not opening very much of the base. But honestly, you don't want to open up the really big compartments because then your troops go all haywire, right? So, like that, you lose that where they could be, yeah. See that compartment with the 2 air sweepers in the middle? He's avoiding breaking that open because he knows that at that point the Queen ability split up everywhere. He just hit the Queen's ability just in time, and she went in and took out the Eagle Artillery there perfectly. But you're right, Klaus, and I think what we're seeing here is one more of a YOLO-style attack in that we're going for it right now. We're not worried that much if we fail because they need the 3 right here. They do need the 3, but I mean, with the Queen dying, there goes the Town Hall. But there's just not a lot left. I mean, what happened here, Galadon? I think they hit one key giant bomb next to that Expo up there, which killed a lot of boulders. But with the King, he gets the 2-star, but this is definitely not going to be that elite percentage that we're getting used to seeing. No, unfortunately. And it was a risky entry coming that far away from the Town Hall. The Archer Queen didn't get the job done other than getting the Eagle down up there. Left a lot of key defenses you can see at the top right of the screen. The Inferno Tower, there's a Wizard Tower, and both of those Expos are still up there. So just, yeah, things didn't quite go right. The jump spell there, nobody's taking it. Nobody cared about the jump spell. They decided to go around. But looks like at this point with the King and all of his barbarians,
He's going to crack 65. Oh, there's a P.E.K.K.A. Didn't see that P.E.K.K.A. Pretty low percentage, or pretty low hit points, but that's going to probably be it. I mean, all things considered, not that great. They needed something much better than that.
That's tough. And you know what else we saw that we've seen earlier in this war, and that is lava pups alive at the end, wiping out the last of the units. So, like Klaus pointing out earlier, the meta has definitely shifted since the last April update. We're seeing lava hounds almost constantly in defensive clan castles.
That's right. Now shifting gears, we have Shaso, the final attacker for Dark Unicorns. He's got to get this triple. He's got to make this count in order to set his team up really well for the, for the in picture to see who moves on to the playoff.
To keep them competitive, exactly. To keep them competitive in the whole thing. Today, this round, Shaso wants the triple right here, and he's going to bring in my personal favorite 3-star attack, Queen Charge Miner. So let's watch those 24 miners, 24 miners move in. So what we'll most likely see is a funneling using the king on one side, using the queen charging on another, and then watch for those miners to pull in and have that narrow path. You want to see a narrow path for the miners to follow so that those heal spells. There's only one heal spell, Klaus.
You have a minor attack and you only bring one heal spell.
Wow.
This is interesting. Everyone pay attention to that one heal spell. It's going to be clutch, I guarantee it. But it's going to be a queen walk. So obviously the queen with the healers is going to be a really big focus here. But Galadon, look at the stats on the right-hand side. 4 attacks for each clan. There's 1 attack left each. Shaso's doing his final for the Dark Unicorns. And look at the percentage spread. That's 16% spread between Zombie Doom and Dark Unicorns. Dark Unicorns, honestly, I mean, obviously with that star advantage too, winning this handily up to this point.
Yeah, and Shaso not so happy with the beginning of that attack right there. Unfortunately, the Archer Queen working on that Lava Hound. Good late poison spell is going to help get some of those pups out of the way as they move back in within range of the poison spell. But man, I don't know if I've ever seen a minor attack like this with only 1 heal spell.
And I'm still very in. Oh, you know what he's angry about? I don't think he wanted the queen to go for this town hall. I think that with the break that happened there, the queen was supposed to follow that jump spell and go up toward that Eagle Artillery. I think that was what he was angry about. We saw it in face cam, and I was still figure that out.
Yeah, there was a little bang on the table there. I think you're exactly right, Klaus. I wasn't exactly sure what happened, but yeah, you can see because there would have been an approach for the miners to come in, and now the queen is not going to take down that Eagle early. She's still has her ability, though. She's going to take down the defending Archer Queen. He's adjusting on the fly, and here come the miners, bottom of the screen. And yeah, that Eagle Artillery is still raging away. You
could tell he was trying to deploy his miners to take out that Eagle Artillery, but the buildings on the right-hand side, there was a Tesla, now there's a Dark Barracks. All that was in the way, so he couldn't get his troops to go straight at the Eagle Artillery, but he settled for, something that would work out near the Eagle Artillery, because likely some of the miners are going to path over there and take it out.
Yeah, well, they're going to take out some buildings and grab that 2nd star, but it's just not going to go right for Shaso here, unfortunately. And he just had to adjust on the fly. You can see the defending Archer Queen is still up as well. And it's just one of those things where, when things don't go to plan, this is a good attack to have that you can save 2 stars, because you notice he's well into the 60% range before this attack ends. But yes, that was a really good observation, Klaus. I think that's exactly what happened. The wall breakers were too effective. They created a path too deep into the space, and the jump spell, again, like we've talked about, you put it where you want your troops to go, they don't always see it.
They don't always care. They always have a different plan. Or not always, but a lot of them.
Especially the queen.
Yeah, well, she could see over the wall, so she's much harder to predict. But yeah, there was that key moment where unfortunately that wall broke and the queen went off in the wrong direction. She did get the town hall. You can't complain too much, but you can tell that the plan that Shaso had was to send the miners up through that town hall instead.
Right, because you saw the wall wrecker come in from the top of the base. So there's your completed funnel like we were talking about. The bottom of the screen, the Archer Queen's going to get in there. She's going to get the Eagle down. Top of the screen, that's going to kind of narrow that pathway for the miners. And then when the miners moved in, there would have been a much more narrow path. And then the 1 heal spell would have gotten massive value, and that's what you're really counting on there.
All right, so here it is, the final attack of round 3. No, this is not the final round. We got 1 more round, so don't go anywhere.
Round 3 and 4, that's right.
This is the final attack of this current round. King Tut has to get a 3-star here, folks. If he gets that triple, then he can tie it up with Dark Unicorns and bring his clan back into contention. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty tough to come back after all of this has been said and done.
Yep, so you can see the funnel complete for the Archer Queen with that baby dragon and a couple of archers there making sure that she heads downward instead of counterclockwise. She's going to be heading towards that town hall. There's a good rage, keeps the queen up on the healers. There's your wall wrecker, moving into that pathway after the town hall. And another lava hound coming out of the CC, Klaus.
Man, the lava hounds they slow down the attack so much. I mean, we saw a big change to the ice golems, which were the king basically for defensive clan castles, slowing down attacks. Now that they're different, they're not quite as effective. And so what's the next best way to slow down an attack?
Yep.
That is the lava hound. And you were seeing that a lot here. Definitely something to consider if you're going to be warring on your own account in your own game in Clash of Clans.
Yeah, it's funny because the lava hound for a long time was the go-to defensive CC unit, and then it moved away from it, and now we're back to another lava hound defense meta.
This attack's looking really good. The only problem is that the queen, or nobody got that multi-inferno, so the queen's healers are getting completely roasted again. And yeah, that inferno tower does have a lot of hit points left, so the bowlers that are coming over won't help out much. But everything else looks really good. I mean, the troops made it all the way into the core, but things just didn't. So you with that attack, you have to get the healers on your troops. You cannot let the healers stay in your queen. And we're seeing that here, where when the healers switch over, boom, you get 3 stars, you get high percentages. When they don't, they're saying 60 percentages.
And that Ice Golem freeze right there, you know that King Tut was hoping that Ice Golem would be leading the pack, getting in there towards the center, because it would have frozen at least half a dozen defenses had it gone off over by one of these expos.
That's right. Now the attack coming to a close now. There's only one witch and about 20 skeletons. I mean, they're going to accumulate some percentage. They're going to, help out in the long run. You got to get every single building down that you can. But ultimately, with this attack only being the 2 stars, Zombie Doom will finish out this war with only 9 stars, with the one and only so far 1 star that we've seen here today.
Good point. And there it is, victory for the Dark Unicorns.